UT Martin head coach Jason Simpson, the Skyhawks came from behind 28-17 to win in Eastern Illinois. Fifth straight win, 2-0 in the OVC, up to 13th in the polls, which is the highest since the last poll of the 2006 season. They're going to host SEMO on Saturday. So, Coach, just some thoughts, and then we'll go into some questions.
Okay, great. Thanks. Tough win on the road. That's kind of, didn't expect anything different. You knew playing Eastern Illinois, they'd lost, I think I'm right on this, 4 games, 3 of them by, 1 score and 1 by 2 score was part of their season this far. And statistically on defense, they've done an outstanding job. And they had a week off, so give Coach Cushing and Eastern Illinois credit. I mean, they're a solid team. And so now you don't know the first quarter that you're going to put the ball on the ground twice, unforced errors. They're going to miss 2 field goals. So the game unfolded strangely. So we're down at, halftime by 3. But very proud of our defense. Our defensive staff played really well in the second half, and took us to the fourth quarter to get the lead, and a hard-fought game, and to get out of there with a win. So pleased with that. Hopefully we grew from that and learned from some mistakes. I thought our energy was good, just our execution. Good execution on their part. Their linebacker probably had, I don't know, what do you have, like 14, 15 tackles. So he's an outstanding player. So, good to see, Zach Wallace had a good game, did a nice job, taking, I think it's 5 touchdowns for him in the last 2 weeks. Keon made a few more plays. Yabi, with the 2 sacks. So that was good to see. Great play by, Takeem on the interception. So a lot of guys chipped in, and, so good win, and move on to this week.
Well, I know you probably want to lead buzzer of every game, but the Sanford game, you're behind, you came back. When you get behind it, it seems obviously it doesn't phase your team. They're just doing what you all have coached them up to do. Am I seeing that right?
Yes and no. No, you're right. From it's a team that has gone through, being down. Okay. In this game, eventually, it's hard to catch back up. Eventually, a penalty will come or another turnover, and you can't do that. So, but no, you'd certainly, you like having the capability of having enough, good players to do that, of executing good enough that you can do that. Hopefully, like I said, that we'll continue to. I thought we were ready to play. I will give our kids credit for that. The energy and stuff was good, but give East Illinois a lot of credit and their staff, because there was a lot of energy on their sideline. They were putting a lot into this game, and rightfully so. That's how it should be. So, taking care of the ball has got to be the number one thing, and if we do that, we'll give ourselves some chances.
So 5 straight wins is the longest since your first season at UT Martin. Is there something, that mojo going on when things are going right? It kind of rolls into more wins. You've seen many seasons, so I'd get your thoughts on this streak compared to other times during your career.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes over the years, right, we had some good teams, and scheduling, was maybe you played, your FBS game 2, 3, or 4, so that's been, that gets you sometimes, you don't beat Jacksonville on the road, and that would derail us, for a couple games. So, it's a combination of different things. Right now, it's just how the schedule played out, and then the kids are playing hard, and there is a lot of belief. There's a lot of belief. Now we're like everybody else. You get to a certain time of the year, and injuries and fatigue starts kicking in, and you got to figure out a way to keep pushing.
And then you have 3 straight home games. So just thoughts on that streak, and it'll be 4 or 5 weeks that you'll be at home, and that advantage that your team will have.
No, we needed that. We certainly need that to be able to weather the first part of the season and get to this point at 5-1. You got to take advantage of it. You have to take advantage of playing the teams that you got left at home. You got to hold serve at home. In order to be a contender team at the end of the year, you got to win your games at home, and that's got to be something that we take advantage of.
So you're going to play SEMO the first of two meetings. So this one won't count in the standings. Before I ask specifically about them, anything that's different in other coaches, like you're going to play a team again that doesn't count. Does that matter the first time you play them? And they're coming off obviously a buzzer beating loss.
Well, first of all, Coach Tuke and what the challenges that him and his team brings and their success in the last, 4 years, 5 years or whatever. Give them all credit and their toughness and what they do on defense and running the football. I mean, they're tough to handle. I probably spent about 30 seconds on it of, how do you approach this as far as, not a conference standing game, but the bottom line, and I'm sure the same for them, it's the next game, you play as hard as you can and you worry about the last one, the last week. That I'm not smart enough to do it any different way. And our kids understand that too. Then if you win, great, you reconfigure for next week or conference game and things don't go your way. Once again, you regroup and then you approach it, trying to get the next one. So it's unique. It certainly is. But that's how the schedule's dealt.
So you talked about Coach Tuke in the last couple of years. In the last couple of meetings with SEMO, I think it's 4 or 6, but the last two, one score or less. So you all have played some really competitive games and kind of gone back and forth with that, maybe similar physical type styles. Can you talk about the closeness of some of the last couple of games?
Well, I mean, I showed it to our team, yesterday. I think the first, 10 years or so, whatever, we were probably 9-1 against SEMO. And then, since Coach Tuke's been there, to his credit and staff's credit, I think we've lost 3 of the last 4. And I showed that to our team. And I guess, 3 of them were, really, really close, 1-score games. So, we got to, they've been a playoff team and gone deep into the playoffs. And so that's where this team, that's their goal. So, got to match up here at home.
Last question, I'll let you go. The Carius Stevens he scooped up the block punt and returned it. So you talked about some of those big plays earlier, but what about defense and special teams making plays like that? And you've talked about earlier in the year how experienced those units are for your team, but a big play right at the beginning of the game.
No, that was big, and you thought that was going to set us on the track to get rolling, but it didn't. To Eastern Illinois' credit, they fought back and took the lead. But no, you're in punt safe and 3 guys rush and able to get a block. That's happened to us before throughout the year. So good play. But Fufu, as his nickname is a good player, as a safety, converted to a linebacker a couple of years ago, and he's making plays. And John Ford at the linebacker position, I think he made 10 or 12 tackles. The 2 safeties that we have, Takeem and Devin Sims are probably averaging 8 to 10 tackles a game. Again, Jay Woods back healthy at the corner, and then Sean Schamberger being able to play, and then Quez at the other safety, and like I said, getting Yabi healthy and Pick and DeBose inside. So we're starting to grow defensively and put it together. So hopefully we can continue that consistency.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.